Good morning, all of you. Today we are revising the chapter History, the Rise of Nationalism in Europe. And we are talking about nationalism. In a simple word, nationalism means feeling of oneness, that we all belong to the same nation. But the question arises, from where we got the feeling of nationalism? And what is the source of this nationalism? So nationalism is a feeling of belonging and loyalty that causes people think of themselves as a nation. During 19th and 20th centuries, nationalism was a powerful force that could create one nation from many separate countries. We will discuss in this chapter also, that is Italy, Germany, unification of Italy and Germany, break one nation up into many countries, Austria, Hungary, and Turkey. So finally, when we will start our chapter starts with the image. And this is the image. In 1848, the image was created by a French artist, Frederic Soriot, who has prepared a series of 4 prints and visualizing his dream of a world made up of, pardon? What happened, Disha?
May I tell?
Yes.
I'm Frederic Soriot.
Yes. So when we are talking about this image, which was prepared by Frederic Soriot in 1848, visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republic, as he called them. The first print shows the people of Europe and America marching in a long train. You just see the image, and offering homage to the Statue of Liberty. And as they pass by it, that is the democratic idols, and a female figure carries a torch of enlightenment in one hand and the Charter of the Rights of Man in the other hand. And if you will see the image, on the earth lies the shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. And what does it mean, absolutist institutions? That means monarchical system. When the king was having all the powers. And if you will see the image properly, carefully, in Soriot's utopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations, identified through their flags and national costumes. Leading the procession are USA and Switzerland, followed by France and Germany. And after that, following Germany are Austria, Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and Russia. From the heavens above, you just see Christ's saints and angels gauge all the scenes. The artist symbolizes fraternity, that is brotherhood, that the world is one and all are belong to the same family. So Arte symbolizes fraternity among the nations of the world. Now, the French Revolution. The French Revolution we have discussed in class 9th also. French Revolution started in 1789. And that was a full-fledged territorial state in 1789 under rule of a monarch. That is Louis XVI, if you remember. Political and constitutional changes that came in wake of the French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from monarchy to a body of French citizens. So that means we can associate nationalism in France. Introduction of various measures and practices created sense of collective identity among the people of France. Change of monarchy in France. Absolute monarchy converting to constitutional monarchy. And after that, republic, establishment of republic. That means the head of the state is an elected person. And powers were transferred to the Jacobin clubs, Maximilien Robespierre, if you remember. Creation of new assemblies. And after that, the start, that is rise of Napoleon and his reforms. If you will see the idea of the nationalism in France, because that was the beginning. So idea of La Patrie, the fatherland, le citoyen, the citizens were emphasized. Adoption of new constitution, the citizens enjoying equal rights. Adopted tricolor as new French flag, replacing royal standards. That was a transition. New hymns were composed. Oaths were taken and martyrs remembered in the name of nation. People struggled against the existing system. Uniform system of weights and measures were adopted. Centralized administrative system was formalized. French became the national language and the regional dialects were discouraged. Imaginary female allegories, that is the female figure, were used to show United Nations, such as Marina and Germania, which I told you to make it in your AIL activities. Now, this is the most important, that is Napoleonic Court, as in France, 19th century, end of the 18th century, when democracy was not set up or not able to handle. So a dictator, that is Napoleon Bonaparte, ruled over the country. And initially he introduced many reforms, and that is known as Civil Code of 1804, or we can say Napoleonic Code. And according to this, privileges based on birth abolished and equality before law was established. Right to property was established because during the Jacobin period, right to property was abolished. Now again, right to property was established and feudal system was abolished. That was previous system. Administrative divisions were simplified. Peasants got freedom from serfdom and manorial dues, whatever the dues they were having, they got the freedom from that. Uniform laws and standardization of weight and measures were introduced. Common national currency was adopted. Guild restrictions in towns were removed and its transport and communication system improved. Now our next topic, that is the making of nationalism in Europe. That was the beginning, which we have discussed related with France. Till mid-18th century, there was no concept of nation state in Europe. Germany, Italy, Switzerland were divided into kingdoms. Uses of different languages. Society and politics was dominated aristocracy. Go ahead. The land was farmed by tenants and small owners, while in Eastern and Central Europe by vast estates, which were cultivated by serfs and emergence of working and middle classes due to industrialization in 19th century. Because at the time industrialization was occurred in England, and this is the reason this working classes and liberalism was introduced. And educated and liberal middle classes wanted the abolition of aristocratic privileges. Because at that time, aristocratic and church was having maximum power. So demand for the abolition of that. So now we will just discuss about the liberal nationalism. When we are talking about liberal nationalism, that is having two parts, political and economic. As yesterday also when we have discussed about the globalization. So that is also the same thing. That is economic liberalism. If you remember, I told you three words, LPG, liberalization. So liberal means liberty, freedom. But in this chapter, we will just discuss about the liberal nationalism. First in political sphere. In political sphere, government by consent. Previously, the system was not there. End of autocracy, adoption of constitution, abolition of property rights, equality before law, representative government through parliament. That means you can easily understand what does it mean. That is the development of democratic ideals, beginning of new ideas. So when we are talking about liberalism, especially political, right to vote and to get elected was granted, but exclusively to property owning man. Men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Next is economic nationalism. Freedom for market, or we can say this is the beginning of the globalization. Globalization, not a new concept, but here it is having different name. Freedom for market, what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. That depends upon the market forces. Removal of state imposed restrictions. As yesterday I told, the restrictions or barrier, LQP. So all the restrictions imposed by state were removed. So that means free flow or movement of goods and capital. In 1834, a customs union, or in a simple word, we can say Zollverein, was formed at the initiatives of Prussia and joined by most of the German states. The union abolished tariff barriers. Do you know what are tariff barriers? That is a customs union. Union means that group. Custom union. Abolish tariff barriers and reduce the number of currencies from over 30 to 2. That means if you have to go to other states, different countries was there, different currency, different measurements. So uniformity was adopted. So previously around 30 currencies, now converted to 2. Now next is a new conservatism after 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte defeated war in 1815, that is Battle of Waterloo. And after defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte, European governments were driven by a spirit of conservatism. Conservatism means conservative ideas. Because previously we have discussed about the liberal ideas. Now we are talking about the conservative. Those who were not interested to change themselves. They believed in monarchy, the church, social hierarchies, property, and that the family should be preserved. That means they believed in old system. A modern army, an efficient bureaucracy, a dynamic economy, the abolition of feudalism and serfdom could strengthen the autocratic monarchies of Europe. So this is the provision of Treaty of Vienna. In 1815, representatives of European powers like Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria met in Vienna to draw up a settlement for Europe. And the main motive was to undo the changes initiated by Napoleon and to restore monarchy. The Bourbon dynasty, which was abolished by Republic, now restored to power, and France lost the territories it had annexed under Napoleon. So these are the provisions of Treaty of Vienna. That is restoration of Bourbon dynasty, territories acquired by Napoleon taken back, prevented French expansion in future, Austria to control northern Italy, Prussia has given new territories on its western border, including Saxony, and no change in German confederation of 39 states, and Russia to get Poland. And next is the revolutionary. Revolutionary means those who want the change, immediate change. So for this, in 1815, secret societies were formed in many European states to train revolutionaries, to spread the ideas of nationalism and oppose conservatism. Revolutionary oppose monarchical forms, fight for liberty and freedom. And the Italian revolutionary, Giuseppe Mazzini, who was born in Geneva in 1807, founded two more underground societies. First, Young Italy in Marseilles. Secondly, he founded Young Europe in Bern, whose members were like-minded young men from Poland, France, Italy, and German states. That means conservative threatened by his move.